business first, but if there's somebody whose check is maybe, got caught up in some kind of policy, he'll go to those people in that office and say, listen, how would you feel if you didn't get your check this week? And we have never, ever, ever had somebody not get paid because of a check got lost or anything. Is that incredible? Guys, companies put out millions and millions of dollars, and that is just the beginning. I cannot say enough about this gentleman. Please put your hands together. Give him a great South Florida welcome. Our MTV CEO and President, Gary Calhoun.
Of pretty people. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I am just flat overwhelmed. Do any of y'all feel like you're back at 6 years old and it's almost Christmas? Yeah! I mean, that's just the feeling that I have. It's like, finally, after a year and a half, it's coming to fruition. I like that word, fruition. Yes. My goodness alive. I could not wait to get here. I really couldn't. I'm just overwhelmed. I told Dan today, now this is our secret. Can y'all keep a secret? Yes. We opened, they had a ribbon cutting somewhere last night. Where was it? Somewhere in Knoxville, Tennessee. Now, they were going to open up in a couple of weeks, but they wanted to be first. So they ran in there real well. Two of the members, we call them the three amigos, two of the members didn't care. But Brother Freeman, he couldn't handle it, right? So I told Dan today, I said, they cut the ribbon first. Y'all just make sure, and this is the secret, that y'all deliver the first Captain Crunch and Jill. Okay? I want a little video of that, so we got to get that inspector out here and get this done real quick so we can have that. How many in this crowd right here, what was unique is coming up. I honestly thought I was coming to a family reunion. That's the feeling that I get. Of course, I got some rough-looking kin people right here with Charles, but I love them anyway, you know what I mean? But I mean, it's like we're friends, and that's a great feeling, I mean, it's just it's a super thing. But when we were coming up, I was just thinking about what has transpired over the period of this year and a half, where we've come to, where we've gone. But now I'm telling you, that is nothing more than a little minuet presentation to where we're headed. All right, I'm going to tell you some things to see. Just in this crowd right here, how many are already part of us? How many are affiliates? Okay, let me just see the hands. How many of you are not? You're not an affiliate with us, okay? Now, some of the things that I want to talk about just for a few minutes, it's going to be quick, but it may go over your head, so please don't let it scare you off and don't let it, just because you may not understand it. Is that okay? Because we'll explain it to you the whole program later, but I want to kind of tell you from where we've been to where we are. Initially when we started, and Sue talked me into this, and it would not have been here without her, and what a great lady she is, but from then to now, we knew that it was going to take about a year and a half to get all the programming done, to get the products in, to get, where you can expand the cities. Our database has got a database of products for every city. I mean, you have to start thinking about 10,000 products and all that information per city. And then in that, per hub, if it's different in different areas. So it's been a massive undertaking. Now we're ready to go. What does that mean to us? Well, if you've seen over the period of time, we came out initially, we had the phase one, and then you've seen us layer this compensation plan to make sure that it'll correspond with the activities that we want you to do. Did you notice that? How it just kind of falls into place. Now also, you heard the old saying that a rising tide raises all boats. Y'all should be familiar with that around here, right? And a hurricane sends them halfway to Pensacola. So that's what's happening here. We got a plan, you know, and we knew that one side was going to raise the other. But let me tell you, we introduced the iHub concept because we went to Orlando, and I had to spend 3 days, almost 4, looking at offices, going to get licensed, getting the inspections done, etc. And I started to drive home, and Mike Paris rode back with me. He had rode down with the other guys, and he rode back with me. And we got in the truck, and Mike's job was to go follow me into these areas when we set it up. And I said, Mike, I just signed my last lease. And you could have just seen it, the blood run out of his face. I mean, he just thought he was terminated or something. And I said, I got a different way. We're going to do it independence. And go ahead, give yourself a hand for that. Yeah. So we set it up, and we waited. We went ahead and introduced it. We'd open one in Pensacola. We'd open one in Orlando. But just because you open a hub doesn't mean that buying habit gets broken. It's still hard. And we realized that it was going to need something else. We realized that we didn't want anybody to open a hub. We introduced it. Orlando wasn't open when we had National Convention. And we had anticipated what was going to happen there. So we came out with the iHub, and after we opened Orlando, I wasn't satisfied with the way that it was going to work out. And I said, I don't want to open anymore right now. I want to just, we got to fix this. We got to make sure, because it does us no good if somebody opens a hub and it's not successful. And we knew that it was going to need corporate help. And that's the reason we came out with the MAC program, MAC, Marketing Acquired Customers, where we can come into an area and we can actually run ads, create those customers, get those customers from whomever participated in the MAC, and that's a great way to build their income, plus it builds a residual for all uplines. But it still needed something else. And Charlie Thaxton from Tennessee, this guy's a marketing genius, about 73 years old, I think, something like that, Dan? Yeah. And just wide open as you want to be. But the guy thinks in numbers that scares most people. I mean, he'll get up in an opportunity meeting and say, how many of y'all want to make $1 million a month? And he believes it. And he does it. See, this is a guy that's made so much money in network marketing, he gave $1 million away to charity. Well, if you're going to give $1 million away, what you got to have? Right? So you start thinking in terms a little differently than most people, right? So Charlie's thinking way up here. Most people are way down here thinking about this, okay? And Charlie came to us, he came to our home office, visited with us, had a great plan, came back, or went back to Tennessee. We talked about it. He had some things that would work, some things that we were still wondering if it would. And he called me one day and he said, hey, I got a plan that I want to pilot in Knoxville. You don't have to tell the organization, you don't have to tell anybody. We just want to do this and see if it'll work. I think it's the greatest thing that ever will hit. He told me about it. I called a couple of employees in and we talked to them about it. And we said, yeah, we agree. We believe that is massive. I said, why don't y'all go ahead. I'll look at the contracts over the weekend, make sure everything's right. Florida's going to lose, Alabama's going to win. It's a typical weekend. I just had to throw that in. Roll Tide. All right, so we just, I looked at it, and Monday they had a meeting, and Charlie told Dave on the way to the meeting, he said, either we're going to lay an egg or we're going to start something. And I was waiting. I mean, I was waiting on the phone. They were supposed to text me or call me as soon as it happened. And the first thing I got was a picture. And it just showed a line of people. And they said, that's the line of people going down to throw in checks. They're running over each other. One lady just got knocked down. And we felt like it'd probably be that appealing. Why? Because it lets you in, it vests you into what's happening. See, when you're an affiliate, and that's a great position, and you're an affiliate, you get what you build. what you help build and what leadership that you get. But when you step it up also now to the iHub, then you're participating nationally, whatever we build. Now, what are we going to build? Let me tell you. The first thing we're going to build or do, you can watch this progress, is we're going to eat this elephant one bite at a time. It's a massive thing. There's 1,000 moving parts on this thing, believe me, okay? You have the scenario of Southeastern delivery for customers, because customers usually don't like network marketing. So you kind of have to keep the customers over here, and then the network marketing over here, you know? And then when the ads run, everything's building for Southeastern and building awareness for Southeastern, but it makes a perfect situation for you to be able to go to somebody and go, hey, that company, we're the marketing arm for it. How would you like to be involved in that? So it's a perfect situation, okay? But in building this, and there's 1,000 moving parts of this thing, and I had about 3 thoughts at one time. I'm just trying to get, because I know I don't have much time, and I'm just trying to hurry. What was I saying, George? Yeah, here's where it is. I'll just check. I knew. I'll just check to make sure he did. Okay. Okay. So here's the points. All right, now we gotta do this one bite at a time. Okay. Charlie's idea was, let's bring in just the non-perishables. You know, everybody is spending $400, $500, $600 a month. $200 a month non-perishables. It's easy, because what we found out is that when you go out to develop customers, I go ahead and tell you this in advance. The hardest part for a customer to do business with you initially is they don't want to relinquish the rights to pick out the tomatoes. Nobody can pick out a steak like you can, right? Well, if we already know that in advance, let's go ahead and just take care of that objection right up front, right? How many of y'all have an emotional tie to trash bags? Right? So, I mean, that should be easy for us, correct? So then we got, and plus we got to have affiliates do it, because you can't expect your neighbor to do it if you're not going to do it, right? So the step one was, let's do this on a basis of where we are just taking the 200, that's just part of the money you're already spending, and let's start with that. That starts building residual income. It gets you doing that buying habit, and then we'll move into all the perishables. Well, Knoxville is set to go with that. We call up Dan, and Dan says, well, Gary, that's just the greatest thing I've ever heard. We're just sitting in here because, you know, it gets so hot you have to open your car with an oven mitt, and we were just worried about the ice cream, so, whew, that's fantastic. But okay. About a week later, Dan calls back, Gary, I think we're going to go ahead and go with the ice cream. I said, whatever. You know, whatever you want to do. Because, you know, that's more, I mean, that's where we're headed, right? So it was just first here. So anybody that wants to move on up to this next level, that's fine. So you're going to have some hubs that in other parts of the country that may only offer dry goods initially. Then you have hubs like you here that's going to do the whole thing. But then that's just, now here's the grocery part. We work into that grocery part. We initially make deals with local grocery stores to get, but there's a point in time as this thing expands out and you have numerous hubs here that we're doing enough volume to bring our own store in. And that's the end result. We want our own store. And that own store will feed all of these hubs. So your orders will come in by midnight. They'll come into our main computer system. They'll go to the main hub. They'll have that filled. You'll pull up the next morning. Your hub operator, pick them up, bring them over here and deliver them. It's almost like a main branch of a bank, or a main bank, and then having branches, okay, the same way. Let me tell you some other things that we're going to have in addition to that. In this hub, you know, we already have other products. We have the Ultra Luster, and we have the Debt Crusher, and etc. We have the greens, reds, Formula 10, etc. Those products will be available in the hub as well. Those products carry great commissions. So you've got for groceries, you've got these other products. As a matter of fact, we have we're going to be expanding that natural product division, and the label will be Premier Formulations, and it's a whole entire natural product. It's like you're going into a natural food store. That will also be available right here in your store. Okay? So that will also increase your income, because, and see, the whole idea is if we can just crack that door open, then we can crack a little more. We can crack a little more, okay? Because the other things that we have on the drawing board are our, you probably heard me talk about this, is our heating and air filters. And those will just be on an auto pickup. How many of y'all know you're supposed to change that about how often? Every month, every 3 months. Well, you get to choose. Maybe you want to do it every 45 days. Then when you come around, automatically every 45 days, they're going to be there. Now think about if you develop 500,000 customers in your group, and all of a sudden that's just an additional purchase, right? Other thing is pool chemicals. Now that'd be a total different division. But the things that we have on the drawing board of divisions that we're just putting in this, but it all starts right here. This is step one, this is ground zero. And now, if we know that we can do that, and we know it can be successful, and now we know it can be successful because of the program Charlie brought to us. What made the difference? Well, if you just opened this with your 5 people, then that's 5 people, things like they can make some money off of it, but everybody else is pretty much a customer, right? But now you have the ability to have 25 people with vested interest in it.